After Flight 232 crashed, experts put other pilots in a simulator and gave them the same emergency. 29 times they tried to save the plane. They failed. But the real crew, with no practice and almost no control, brought 185 people out alive. And here is the part that still confuses experts today. They did it without a single working flight control. Most plane crashes happen because of one thing going wrong. Flight 232 was different. One failure caused another failure, which caused another, until the crew had almost nothing left to work with. On July 19, 1989, United Airlines Flight 232 left Denver headed for Chicago. The plane was a McDonnell Douglas DC-10, carrying 285 passengers and 11 crew. 1 hour and 7 minutes after takeoff, at 37,000 feet over Iowa, the tail engine exploded. Not a fire, not a warning light. The engine blew apart from the inside. A titanium disc inside that engine, the piece that spins the fan blades, had a hidden crack growing inside it for 18 years. It had been there since the day the part was made in 1971. 6 different inspections missed it. On this afternoon, that crack finally gave way. The disc shattered. Heavy metal pieces shot out in all directions at enormous speed, but the pieces that mattered most went forward, directly into the tail of the aircraft. And those pieces cut through something the plane could not survive losing. The tail engine was gone. That was serious. But what those flying metal pieces did next? That was what made this crash different from anything aviation had seen before. A DC-10 is controlled by hydraulic power. Think of it like a system of pressurized fluid running through pipes inside the plane. That fluid moves the control surfaces on the wings and tail. When a pilot pulls back on the controls, hydraulic pressure does the actual work of lifting those surfaces. The DC-10 had 3 independent hydraulic systems. The engineers designed it so that if one failed, the other 2 would keep the plane flying. If 2 failed, one would still work. The odds of losing all 3 at the same time were calculated at 1 in 1 billion. That number satisfied the FAA. The aircraft was certified. But the metal from the exploding engine hit the one place where all 3 hydraulic lines ran close together through a narrow section of the tail. All 3 lines were cut at once, in seconds. Every hydraulic system on the plane went to 0. Captain Al Haynes and First Officer Bill Records tried to move their control columns. Nothing happened. They pushed and pulled together. The plane kept banking right, nose dropping. Not because of what they were doing, but because there was nothing they could do. Flight Engineer Dudley Dvorak read the gauges. He told the crew what they already feared: 0 across all 3 systems. United Airlines maintenance was called by radio. The answer came back clear and terrible. There was no written procedure for total hydraulic loss. Because it was not supposed to be possible, the plane was still in the air. 296 people were still alive, but the crew had almost nothing left to fly with. And in the back of the cabin, a man named Dennis Fitch had just figured out what was happening. Dennis Fitch was 46. He was a United Airlines DC-10 flight instructor, traveling that day as a passenger in the cabin. When the engine exploded, Fitch felt the aircraft move. He knew what that motion meant. He had studied Japan Airlines Flight 125, the 1985 crash, where a Boeing 747 lost hydraulic control and 520 people died. Fitch had run those scenarios in a simulator. He knew how a plane with no hydraulics behaved. He told a flight attendant to tell the cockpit. A DC-10 instructor in the back wanted to help. Captain Haynes told her to send him up. Fitch walked into the cockpit 13 minutes after the explosion. Haynes asked him one question: were the ailerons moving? 2 throttles on the floor. That was the entire control system left for Flight 232. More power on the right engine pushed the nose left. More on the left pushed it right. Pulling both back made the plane descend. Pushing both forward made it climb. None of it was precise. The plane moved in slow, heavy waves, rising, slowing, nosing down, speeding up, over and over. Losing about 1,500 feet of altitude with every cycle, air traffic control in Minneapolis was told about the emergency. They were routed to Sioux City, Iowa, roughly 60 miles away. Haynes replied to ATC with something controllers still talk about. He asked them to keep the plane away from the city. He was thinking about the people on the ground, not just the people on the plane. The crew had one shot: 60 miles. And an approach speed nearly 80 knots too fast, coming down over 5 times too steep. The numbers said this was not survivable. For 44 minutes, 4 men worked together to steer a 200-ton plane toward a runway using only engine thrust. No instruments directly in front of Fitch, no precise controls, just 2 levers and judgment. A safe landing needs a forward speed of around 140 knots and a descent rate of 300 feet per minute. Flight 232 hit the outer markers at 215 knots and was dropping at 1,620 feet per minute. They had planned to land on runway 31. The plane drifted. By the time it was close enough to line up, it was pointed at runway 22 instead, a strip that had been permanently closed for a year. 30 seconds from the ground, the right wing suddenly dropped hard. The oscillation went critical. The engines could not respond fast enough. The cockpit voice recorder caught the last seconds. Then came the sound of impact. The right wing hit first. Fuel caught fire immediately. The tail broke off. The fuselage bounced and rolled onto its back in a cornfield beside the runway. The cockpit ended up upside down in a field.
Top story tonight, the fire chief in Sioux City, Iowa now estimates 195 people died when a United Airlines DC-10 attempted an emergency landing there. That would mean as many as 125 people survived. It would also mean, if memory serves me, this is the second worst domestic single-plane air crash in history.
Responders did not find it for 35 minutes. When they did, all 4 crew members were alive. After the crash, the NTSB recreated the exact conditions in a simulator. They brought in experienced pilots. Crew after crew sat down and faced the same emergency. 29 simulated attempts. No survivable landings. NTSB performance engineer John Clark said it clearly at the public hearing. A crew could aim for a touchdown spot, or control altitude, or manage speed. But doing all 3 at the same time was virtually impossible. None of those things were planned. All of them mattered: 29 simulations, 29 failures. The pilots who ran those simulations knew the emergency before it started. They had time to study it. They had the advantage of preparation. The real crew had none of that. They had a broken plane, 2 throttles, and each other. What they did on July 19, 1989 is still studied in cockpits around the world. Not because it was perfect, because it was possible when nothing said it should be.